So thank you, Grant, for being here with us today. Thank you for your participation in this series that we are, just starting. So thank you.
Thank you very much for having me, Laura. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, so Grant, can you please, before we start, tell us which is your publication, what does
Sure.
it talks about, or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So my publication is called Happy Eco News. And Happy Eco News is an online publication that publishes 5 times a day. And we provide positive news about the environment. So the idea is to help people who are bummed out and feeling sad about the state of the world and all of the bad news that we get every day to actually feel better about stuff, to show them that all the news is not bad, and that there actually is a lot of positivity in the world, and that there are a lot of good people doing good things to try and make the world better.
Grant, that's amazing. I think that we need that kind of publications in our lives, So thank you, from now, thank you. So let's start with these questions that I got planned for you. The first one is, why did you decide to start a digital publication?
So there's 2 answers to that. There's the long answer, and then there's the short answer. And I'll start with the short answer. The short answer is I just wanted to make people feel better about themselves and about the world. And like I said earlier, to show them that, the world is, while there are challenges, that there are a lot of people doing good stuff. But the long answer is a little more in depth. And it started when I was traveling around the world in 2017. I took my kids out of school to travel the world. We ended up going to 20 countries on 4 continents and about 40 cities. During that trip, we noticed that there were a lot of really difficult living situations for the people of some of the countries that we went to, that a lot of the people that were most challenged with poverty and lack of education and clean water were also the ones that were being most affected by the damage to the environment. And I was working in clean technology at the time, so I knew that there were a lot of people trying to solve the problems of the world, but unfortunately they weren't getting as much press as some of the other people in the world that were doing big projects and were maybe doing damage. So I could see the effect that all of this was having on my own children, and I decided to take matters into my own hands and to actually start sharing positive news. And so I started on social media, and I just started sharing the good stuff instead of, all the terrible headlines that were so pervasive at the time. After a couple of months, people started asking me, is there a mailing list? Can you just send this to me so that I don't have to go check email or check social media every day? So I started a mailing list, and then that turned into a website. And 5 years later, we have Happy Eco News, and we're growing every day.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's actually a case of organic growth. It
really is. Yeah.
People were requesting you this. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, we've actually seen that there are other people doing similar stuff now. So I don't know if it's a result of my influence or if it's a result of just being what the world needs at this time. But I'm seeing a lot of environmental organizations in particular changing their messaging, talking less about how bad everything is and with no hope, and then actually realizing that you can inspire people to take action if they feel like they have hope. So that's what we're all about.
That's great. That's great. We are so happy to have a great publication such as yours among our family and our community. So thank you again. It's such a beautiful purpose, the one that you are doing. So yes. Well, so let's go with our second question. This is more about you, and which is your favorite book and why?
So I have read a lot of books, and I like to read.
I can imagine.
So there's a lot. There's one that really stands out to me right now, and it's called Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. And it's about a method of communicating with other people that doesn't put them into a defensive mode. So it's about communicating during hard conversations where you need to express your true feelings and to get your point across without putting the other person on the defensive. And in that way, we can communicate safely, get our message across, and to ensure that the other person feels like they're being heard as well. So in that way, we would have everybody's needs being met. I first read this book about 3 years ago. It was recommended to me by my cousin, who's a clinical psychologist. And
Wow.
I don't know what it meant that he thought I needed it. But it's been really, really helpful in my own.
But I did need it.
I did need it. Yeah. And you know what? I think we all need it. I think that there's certainly, like, the company Microsoft now, the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, has recommended this book to all of his employees. So everybody at Microsoft has read this
Wow.
book. So it's very effective. My own personal experience is that it's really helped me in communication with especially my daughter, because we sometimes have disagreements on certain topics. And while we may choose to disagree with each other, we can now communicate in a way that helps each other and gets our point across without causing more damage than
Damage.
already exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Well,
highly recommend it.
definitely it sounds like something that we all of us need to read. So, another one for the checklist, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Now, well, this is kind of an advice for new publishers, but if you were opening a new publication with the knowledge that you have now, what will you do differently?
Wow, there's so many things. When I started Happy Eco News, I was just kind of winging it, and as they say, flying by the seat of my pants. And I really, the point of Happy Eco News has never been to monetize it for my own personal gain.
Okay.
The point of Happy Eco News has always been to spread the good news as much as possible so that I can help as many people as possible. I don't, it's not in my intention of getting rich off of this. My intention is to help as many people as possible, and to, basically to have them feel good about the world so that they will take action in their own lives and move forward. So I never really thought about what I would do to reach more people. I just thought I would kind of do it and it would work. And I had that faith in myself, and yes, it has. But I think in hindsight, if I was going to start my organization over again, I would do two things. I would have a real robust content plan. So I would look at, what I was going to push out for the rest of the year. And I'd probably start doing that in January. And I would stick to that and not get distracted by the shiny objects, as they say. I would also spend a lot of time learning about search engine optimization. And search engine optimization is this unsexy kind of thing that you have to do that just, kind of just, it's not very fun. I like to write, and I enjoy impacting people with my words. I believe that the pen is mightier than the sword, and so when we write, it's a way of reaching and engaging with people and really connecting with them. But the search engine optimization part actually helps do that, because it allows us to make sure that when people are searching for the topics that we're writing about, that it actually reaches their browser, and that they actually see the Happy Eco News, and they will actually connect with this, and then it'll expand the reach of Happy Eco News, and it will make it highly effective, or much more effective than it already is. So I think those would be the two things I would start. And then, of course, the second of all is, or the third one, I guess, is, of course, to go with a really strong brand strategy. But, that's kind of third down the list quite a ways.
Well, these are great tips, Grant. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, these are like some things that we definitely don't think about all the time, or we don't want to do, we don't know how to do, but we have to like roll our sleeves and just do it, right?
Right. And that's really, really it. It's like every good thing requires work, and you can't do the fun
And
stuff all of the
education.
time.
You,
Exactly. And
you
so
need to
I would
educate
love
yourself.
I would love to eat sugar and fat and candy all the time, but it's not going to get me to my goal and of a long, healthy life. And so it's kind of like that. You've got to take a few sacrifices and eat your veggies, which would be your search engine optimization. And
Exactly.
it becomes a bit of a game, and it can be kind of fun as well.
Well, thanks, Grant. Well, next question for you. Are you a member of any creative communities, like some online forums or Discord channels?
I've looked at many, and I've kind of developed my own small group of other entrepreneurs that I work
Oh,
with. Now,
okay. You've
it's
created your
not,
own community.
I created a small community. I mean, I couldn't say that I couldn't take credit for creating it myself. It's one of these things that kind of happened organically through meeting other people that are working in the field. I think it's really important to have that support, to have a group of people that you can bounce ideas off. Everybody has
Sure.
experience in ways that you have not, and it's a really big resource to be able to tap into those. And so the larger that circle is, the better it is. I have a varied background that
Definitely.
can certainly help others, and I'm happy to do so. And other people in this group also have that, and their backgrounds are quite different than mine. I'm writing about the environment, where I have other people that are selling. One person sells decaffeinated coffee, another person sells bamboo toilet paper, another person does investment, another person is a marketing and branding person in PR. And so we all have had experience working online and writing and creating, and how we work together shares and helps ideas flourish in ways that we may never have thought of ourselves if we were isolated.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. The power of joining.
Yes, yes, certainly.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. And now, could you please share with us the most rewarding moment in your career? It can be with the happy eco news or not. I don't know.
Well, one thing I'm very proud of and feel very was a high point of my career. There's two of them. One was meeting the head of the UN. His name was Ban Ki-moon, at a conference in I think it was 2011, and at the World Futures Energy Summit, and able to connect with a man of his stature who was humble and
Wow.
kind and legitimately interested in the product that I was promoting at that particular event.
Okay.
And it gave me hope that even though these people are extremely powerful and influential, that they are humble and human at the end. Because when you're working in a field where you're, for the lack of a better metaphor, pushing the big rock up the hill, it's easy to get disillusioned and think that you'll never reach the average person. But when a person like Ban Ki-moon can easily and impactfully understand what it is that you're talking about and give it the legitimacy by just acknowledging it, it helps really significantly. The other big event was
That's amazing.
the other big event was in 2015 in Paris at the COP21 rather, climate accord. I was there
Okay.
speaking about maritime technology and climate solutions for the maritime industry on behalf of a company called, or an organization called Bologna. And it was a moment in time when anything seemed possible, when we had this massive consensus of all of these different countries all working in the same direction to get a handle on climate change and to help us to live our lives and allow our grandchildren, our children and grandchildren, to have a healthy planet to live on. And just to be there and be a part of that in my small contribution was definitely a highlight of my career, and one that I don't think I will ever be able to replicate, but darn it, I'll keep trying.
That's great. You know, these are amazing stories. Amazing. So you've been fighting, you know, for all of this climate change since a while now, no? From a while.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate because in 2009, I was part of a company that was the first large energy storage company to ever work in the maritime industry. And so my company was just kind of in the right place at the right time. And we started
Perfect timing.
very great timing. And we built the first hybrid electric tugboats. We built the first electric tugboats. We built the first hybrid electric ferries, the first electric ferries, the first electric port cranes, and on and on and on and on. And so, you know, that experience was amazing. It was a lot of hard work, and it's not for
Everyone.
it's not for everybody. Yeah, it was, you know, a lot of hours away from my family and my children when they were at a very young age. But the thing is, Laura, that at the end of the day, I will be able to look my children in the eye and tell them I tried.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
tell them that I tried to do my best to make the world better for them and for their grandchildren. And I think that if we all try and take those steps and just do the small things each day, then maybe things aren't so bad. And so once again, by doing what I do with Happy Eco News, I try and do that every day, and I try and reach as many people as I can. And then hopefully they'll take that feeling, that positivity with them as they go through life, and then they can influence other people, and then we can get a massive movement going, and together we'll change the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for all of this, you know, for all of your mission. It's amazing and so inspiring for all of us. Thank you for sharing here today with Newstex, you know, and well, I can say that for sure, you have done your part. You are going to keep doing it, but thank you for, you know, doing it, because not all of us have that same capability of make it a reality. We all want to help and we don't know how, you know, but yes, if, you know, in small parts, every one of us contribute to this, we can make a difference. So, well, I believe that this is going to be the message for our audience today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, the last question it will be, what do you consider to be the value proposal of Newstex for you and your
Well,
publication, your brand?
well, absolutely. I mean, you know, the money is nice. But for me, really, it's less about the money, as I've indicated, and it's way more about expanding my reach and the ability to reach an audience that may not be actively looking for what I'm looking for, or for what I'm offering on social media or on Google, and through their publications that they reach, or that reaches them already, is a huge opportunity to expand and to change people's lives in a positive way. And so when you first reached out to me, Laura, I was extremely excited. And here I am today, and you know, the word is getting out, and so thank you very much for including me in Newstex, and I will continue to enjoy it for a very long time, I'm sure.
For sure, for sure. Well, Grant, thank you so much, for separating this time to share all of this information, all of these experiences, all of these purposes that you have with your publication and your life in general with us, and for being here and being the first one in this series of video testimonials that we are going to share with the world.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for including me, and all the best to you and the rest of the team there.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.